is IEBC doing to ensure that 2017 they'll have that confidence?
At the beginning, I had said one thing, that this IEBC thing leaves the Jubilee administration between a rock and a hard place. A rock because the Jubilee administration is in charge of all public institutions, and then when they are being unduly attacked, then as government, as state, they have to come up and say, let's not attack. But again, the hard place, the rock is on the other side. When you defend IEBC, it's like, oh, they rigged for you. That's why you are defending them. So they have to do a balancing act. IEBC had issues with Raila, like any other person who doesn't win. In politics, when you don't get the trophy, you must have an explanation, and the most plausible one is there was theft. So Raila, with about 5 million supporters, attacking an institution, that is very, very dangerous for that institution. So they are lost a lot of credibility. Just like the same Mheshimiwa Raila attacked the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice lost credibility. Now, unfortunately for IEBC, against that virulent attack from a formidable opposition leader, there emerges the chicken gate, adding insult to injury. You are finished. So when Jubilee now comes to say, please, IEBC do this, it's like, hey, they helped you to steal, you are defending them. Looking at it, I'm telling us and my classmate, you can see that Raila is focused on it. And going by the history I know about Raila, he will drum it so much that by the time we go for elections, the IEBC will be so damaged. The sooner we resolve this issue and they quit, the better for this country. It is not, Jubilee, I think, is ready for any IEBC, whether it is headed by Hassan Omar or by Opio Wangai. Here, we will still meet in elections.
All right.
Please.
Yeah, really. I agree with him to a very large extent on the matter of IEBC. You know, the IEBC has got serious credibility questions. And therefore, to pretend that things are normal and therefore business is going on as usual is really to delude oneself. You know, elections are a serious matter. Elections is a matter of life and death for any nation. And indeed, elections have got a direct bearing on national security. And therefore, if our institution charged with managing elections loses credibility, the best thing that needs to be done is to move very fast and carry out necessary reforms. Now, these reforms can only be carried out if people come together from across the political divides, okay? And that's what we have been calling for all along since the last general elections. That let's come together and agree on a way forward in terms of reforming the IEBC. And I'm hoping that sooner or later the Jubilee side will come to terms with this reality. Because otherwise, to pretend and want to hope that the next elections will be run by IEBC as currently constituted is really to imagine beyond imagination. Yeah.
Okay.
I tend to agree with what the two of them have said, but most importantly, there is no number two in politics. You either have won or have lost. And I actually read those two pieces yesterday, and I thought to myself, you know, Uhuru was seriously talking about power generation, education reforms, the lapset, and I read Raila's piece and I realized
just one
he's focused on simply electoral reforms and not for any other reason. I think what happened in 2007, we had a problem with the same body. When it was in another name, the same thing happened in 2013. I think as a country then we must have a very clear conversation. And as Jubilee, I want to agree with Ambrose. I don't see what we lose as a government, even when you sit down to address how this can be reconstituted. Because it's the same thing with a Babu-led committee. I'm telling you, it is whatever you do to sanctize it, it won't happen. And these allegations of corruptions has dented IEBC as an institution, and especially because some of those mentioned are still inside IEBC. Even if you're saying it's a personal liability, the institution is made of people. I think we need to have very candid discussions on this. And in any case, Uhuru and the Ruto government has majority in parliament. Okay. What exactly do they lose? I think they should just bite it.
So Hassan, it doesn't help.
It's surprising that you will expect that that you will read one article and think that that's Raila's ultimate assessment about Jubilee. I think the assessment, the jury is out there.
Is that he chose to focus on that issue, not that it's all his own.
Yeah, so we've spoken tirelessly about exclusion from government and you know, the ethnic and regional balances in government. We've spoken tirelessly about land reforms. We've spoken about security sector reforms. In fact, part of our referendum questions are responding to the very issues around which we feel there have been severe lack of performance or underperformance with respect to the Jubilee government. But we realize the critical nature of IEBC. IEBC, moving into the elections, which is 2 years down the line, we need an electoral commission now that is firming up processes leading to the next election. Not an electoral commission that itself is fighting for survival, trying to fight allegations of corruption or whatever they are. And therefore, I think what is incumbent is even outside the Jubilee government, is for these men and women within the IEBC who have been severely tarnished to find it in their soul. As I heard Ambrose Weda speaking to his classmate, I think, and many others who are in the same position, you find it in your heart. We are asking Ababu to find it in his heart. We are saying it's untenable, and it will be untenable for us to expect that there will be a perception of fairness even leading into the next elections. And there are two institutions, and you will see this from Nigeria and other African countries that manage elections: the security agencies. Yeah, because they provide security. Look, the generals went and told the Electoral Commission of Nigeria, we are unable to guarantee security for the polls next week. And immediately they had to be shifted for another 6 weeks. So I think security agencies by and large also manage elections. And if you see our concern about the appointment of the IG, it was quite, in my assessment, was quite a process that did not meet the parliamentary threshold of what is called approval of parliament. And so what I say is you lack the confidence of over the national organs of security. You lack the confidence in the electoral commission. The electoral process already starts from that perception that is not an equal playing field.